Hey y'all, and welcome back to Color Aru, and we are finishing up our merman page. We call him Arie. We just dropped the L off because he's in Ariel colors with the red hair and the green body. And so we're going to work on, let's move this camera up and we'll just finish off this stingray right here. All right. So we're going to use, I'm going to go in with gray mist, do his tail. Well, gray mist, and let's use steel gray. So we're going to do the tip of, I gotta move these pencils out the way, tip of the tail, and then move from there. And that's what these are. I did the background off camera. It is periwinkle, smoky purple, periwinkle, blue, and light blue. I am not happy with the background at all. The water. This part here is slate gray with Aruba over top. You probably can't see that because it's a really light layer of Aruba. And the fish are done in the same color as his hair, so it's ruby red and red umber. And the little ghosts are forest green and green. Yeah, okay. So we're going to do the tail. So, has anyone ever watched Blackish? I've caught up on it now, and it's so sad. Like the episode before, if you haven't seen Blackish, it is a show about Black American family and what their life is like, and it deals with some issues that goes on in the Black community, and also with some what it's like to be middle class or upper middle class Black family, because the kids go to private school, and so Dre, the father, grew up in a lower middle class family, and he works at an advertising firm, so he has money, and he is partly how he struggles with how does he make his kids, give them a better life than he has had, but still instill in them some of the toughness he had to have growing up the way that he did. So he struggles. They struggles with that. The mother character, her name is Rainbow, and they call her Bo on the show, and she's biracial. Her father is white, and her mother is Black, I believe. Yeah. And so she had a hippie upbringing. And so they're, different on how they were raised, and different educational background. And she's a surgeon. But it looks like she's more of an anesthesiologist to me, because I haven't seen her do any surgeries on the show, but they did have her giving one of the patients anesthesia. But she said she's a surgeon, so she must be a surgeon, or was a surgeon. She quit when they had their fifth child on the show. So I knew when she quit that they were going to go somewhat dark with the storyline, because for her whole identity of what she liked about herself really was that she was, this surgeon. She saved lives. And then to quit that and become a stay-at-home mother, I knew there was going to have to be something in the storyline for her to struggle with. But I did not expect them to go the way of what the last 2 episodes have been about. So the last 2 episodes, they have been struggling within their marriage. They're very two different people. They deal with things different ways. And now that perhaps she's home more, it's starting to realize how different they really are. And I'm just going back and forth between these two colors, trying to blend them out. How different they are, and it came to a head on the last 2 episodes where they just were fighting and realizing that they're very different on how they think and how they discipline their kids and things like that. And so the last episode, they have separated. He moved out. And I'm hoping that this turns out to be a happy ending and that they go through mediation or whatever and learn how to come back together and make a stronger marriage, because I really, really like this couple. And if this is the final season for the show, I do not want this to be how this show ends at all. So they need to fix it. But yeah, I've been catching up on that show. I'm emotionally invested in that show, and I'm going to have to get on Twitter and join the fandom and letting them know, okay, we understand couples go through that, whatever they go through, but you all better have this doggone happy ending for this couple, because we're not trying to have y'all in this show with a divorce. We're not having that at all. But that's a show that if you haven't seen it, then you should see it. It's done very well. And you don't have to be black to relate to the characters, but they are characters that are very relatable. I can see family members and friends and people that I know in those characters. So it's a really great show. Alright, so now we've done our stingray. I'm going to go ahead and do the staff in his cuffs. And we're going to make those gold. So I have to get my colors back out because I'm working off camera on did I put them back? I'm working off camera on, here they are. In Magical Jungle on the pineapple wallpaper page. So I'm doing that background. It was supposed to be gold, but it messed up, so it still looks good, but it's not gold at all. We're going to use sunflower, toasted toffee, and peridot to create this gold. So we're just going to go over it, the whole thing, with sunflower. Oh, wait a minute. I'm going to take this toasted toffee and go into this right here because that's his skin. And I missed that. Okay. So yeah, that's the show I'm caught. I just caught up on that. Excuse me. What else? I haven't really been watching too many shows. That's in frame, so I can do this one too. Um, I started watching Luke Cage. That's pretty good. I'll have to end up catching up on that again too. Probably won't be while I'm doing this, because once I'm done with this, because we're almost done. This is it. We just have the cuffs. We have 4 more little creatures. We have this little shell here and then the coral at the bottom, and we're done with this page, and we can call the merman a wrap. So this is the last and final part, and I'm so happy because we kept it down to what, 3 parts, I think, because I did the background off camera, and that would have took so long if I had did it on camera. And so we're gonna go here and do this too. So yeah, I started Luke Cage, and that's a pretty good show. So I'm gonna have to catch up on that. And then I started watching, well, I haven't started watching it because I think I mentioned on another video that I had started watching Marvel's Runaways, but I haven't gone back to finish that yet. But I did like it. In my video, second part of this video, what you heard mostly on that, because I didn't do too much talking because I was with in our room with my husband, and we were watching the show, the series The Rain. And my desk has a speaker above it. We have surround sound in our bedroom, and it has a speaker above my desk. So that's why the TV was so loud, because he likes to listen to it on the surround sound. So I'm gonna go in with toasted toffee, and I didn't realize that stuff was behind his body. So I'm off camera right now, but I'll be back in frame in a minute. So I'm going to go in with toasted toffee and get these darker areas here. Okay. So so that's why that video was louder than it normally would be. But I wanted to get that part out there. So sorry for that, but I really wanted to have work on this page that night. And since this is I guess it is considered a color along, because this is the page that we're doing as part of our mermaid. So in order for me to work on it, I felt as though I had to put it on camera. So I know it was noisy, but I really wanted to just keep working on it. It was, we're using Peridot right now, Peridot, however you pronounce it. And we're going to just go over it a little more, because I think that color really makes it gold. And so, and that ended up being a really good show. If you haven't seen that, I won't give you a spoiler, but it is for some reason, rain has come along and has an infection. If you get caught in it, you get an infection and you die. Or you get an infection, maybe you spread it. I haven't really figured it out too much yet, because they said that you can spread it, so you must be able to like survive it at some point, like wake up and now you have this infection going on that you can give to other people and eventually you die. I don't know. But that's it was a pretty good, it's a pretty good show. I like it. So we finished the first season of that. So of course now we have to wait for the new season to come out. But that's all right, because now we're getting close to Power coming back on. And we will be glued to that show, which is such a good show. I really like that show. I think that the son is going to become the new version of Ghost at some point, because a lot of has happened on that show. A character has died. The main character has died. Or was killed. And that really changed the brother. He's not going to be the same, I don't think. He just has learned too much about who his father really is, and guilt about, things that he has done. And I think now he is very much on the edge of, the dark side. And I don't think there is much that the parents can do to save him at this point. At least on this season. The mother is going to end up on trial for murder, I believe, because she's going to take the rap for something that happens if, once the police come snooping around about, things that happened at the end of the last season. So it is a very drama-filled show, but it's a very good show. It's one of my favorites, and I wasn't watching it in the beginning, but people kept telling me about it, so I gave it a shot, and it's pretty good. So I'm looking forward to that starting up. Also got to catch up on The Arrangement, which is I was watching in the background in a previous video. Then there is, what is the name of the show? Didn't I know the character name is Teresa? But I can't think. It's Queen of something. Queen of the South. I think it's called Queen of the South. And it's a show about a female Mexican drug dealer. And I believe it's about how she became the queen pin. Because she has visions of herself telling her what she should do, like vision. So I'm thinking that's what it really is, like how she became the queen pin of running things that because she wasn't before. And her name is Teresa. I don't remember what her last name is on the show, but she is a very crafty woman with survival instincts, and it's her survival instincts that got her caught up and really is what is making her that's going to end up ultimately having her become the queen pin, because she ends up having to get deeper and deeper into that life in order to survive. So it's like one of those situations where every time you try to get out, something pulls you deeper in. So that show may already be on, but if not, then it's coming on soon too. So I have to catch that. And then I want to catch Claws, which is with Niecy Nash. And that's a good show. It's the thing that keeps the characters together is a nail salon, but is where they front launder drug money. Something that she got into reluctantly, and again, she's trying to get out, but once you're involved in these situations, it's hard to get yourself out, because now these people have things over you that they can use to threaten your freedom or your life. So it's a pretty good show. And the characters are pretty good. Her brother has he is mentally challenged, but he is super funny. And the friendships on that are pretty good, and the interaction with each other is just a really great show too. And then for this shell here, we just going to use our peridot and our toasted toffee and just make this brown shell. Or maybe just darken up right in the creases and lightly go over the whole thing. And that'll be good enough for me with that. So we've done his staff and the cuffs. And so all we have to do now, we're going to go down, is the coil. And we're going to keep that in the green family. But I want to darken it up. Well, no, let's do green first. Let's do deep emerald. And we're going to go over the whole thing with deep emerald. All of the coil. And then I'll show you how, hopefully it comes out right, how we're going to shade out this. We use a pretty limited palette with this one. We only use red and greens and blue and gold and yellow, so gold. And we're gonna go over the whole thing with the same color. I missed that spot. I got to get that. Including the bubbles, because like I said, the bubbles, we make those transparent. So I went over that, but that's all right. And like I said, I'm not 100% happy with the background. It's like when one element of my picture doesn't come out, I feel like it ruined the whole picture. Because I'm very happy with how he came out. Very, very happy. Well, no. I would just say happy, not very happy, because I did intend for him to be darker in his lower area. But my pencils just do not get that dark. So I definitely have to get a new set. And I'm, like I said, I'm looking forward to getting Prismacolors, but I don't know if that's going to happen because I got other things that just popped up. I'm going to go back with this, well, this is Mediterranean, it's not Aruba, but I'm going to go back in and I'm going to just get this coral, this little coral piece here. That's what I thought it was, so that's what I'm going to make it anyway. It's not, but it has the ridges like up here, so I'm just going to color that in. And then I'm going to get this background too because there's no elements on that. It doesn't look like. But it's very close to this emerald blue, so it doesn't look different, but it will. So yeah, those are the TV shows that I'm looking forward to. Oh, I'm restarting Black Lightning because I've only seen the first couple of episodes when it was on, when it was airing. And it's a pretty good show, but I wish it wasn't so kitschy, you know, with his suit and the way that they have him fighting. It's just, I guess it's supposed to be like old 1960s Batman in the way that they're doing it, but I'm not a fan of that. I have to say I'm not. So we're going to take peacock green and go over some of these elements down here with that. So that was disappointing, but I like the character, the father of the show. The daughter, one of the daughters is from Tyler Perry's TV show House of Pain. I'll do this one here. She's from that. Her name was Jazzy on that show. So it's good to have characters that I recognize and that, you know, are given another shot on a different show, and you're happy to see that their career is still moving along. And Black Lightning is another superhero show, so it's different to say the least. All right, and now we're going to use simple green, and we're going to do a couple in that. And these are very similar in color. So I will probably end up catching up on Black Lightning as well. He has a character that is kind of like his Alfred. I'm gonna go in with, this is green, and I'm gonna go over that deep emerald with this green. Just for the little cacti elements here. And then let me go back over that one more time with the deep emerald and darken that a little bit. And then we have to go back at some point and finish the last season of True Blood, because I never did watch that show when it was on still in season. Okay, because it has been years since that show was on HBO, so we're just catching that, and I haven't seen the end of it yet, so we have to do that. And we've been watching movies and things. We saw The Week Of with Adam Sandler and Chris Rock, and that was a funny movie. That ended up being a pretty good funny movie, where Chris Rock's son and Adam Sandler's daughter are getting married, and it's about how Adam Sandler wants to do the traditional thing and pay for the wedding, but he doesn't really have the money for the type of wedding that he feels his daughter deserves and the type of wedding that everyone is expecting. And they all kind of keeps telling him to let Chris Rock's character pay for the wedding, because Chris Rock's character has money because he's a surgeon and a well-renowned surgeon at that. He's in demand. He's very good at what he does. And you see the family dynamics between the two families, and moral of the story that money doesn't, can't buy everything. But at the same time, pride can also get you in trouble when, even though you're trying to do the right thing, sometimes you have to let someone else help you. But then it's a comedy, and at the end of the day, and everything works out, and we have our kumbaya moment. So that is and we're going to keep this to one part, so it may get a little longer, over an hour, but this will be the final part. There's no need to make another part just for a few minutes, because we really are almost done with this here. And I'm just going to do these tips here darker, and then we're going to go over it with another color, and that should give us a pretty decent contrast. Bring some image depth to this element here. And that's a leaf in the front, so we'll get that right there. And I always put a little paper so I don't go over on another page and color the page anywhere else. Okay, you can see. So it was a good movie. And then I watched a movie about two debate teenagers, and I can't remember the name of it. And that was a this is what I just did. So I'm gonna go with deep emerald. Nope, too close. Let's just go in with green. And that was pretty cute, chick flicky type movie. So we just really just been watching movies, and of course coloring is what I've been doing mostly. Alright, so that makes that right there. We're done with that. I'm going to go over the whole thing with light green, and the light green won't really change the color. Actually, I'm going to go over it with pastel, and that won't really change any of the colors. It will just make it all blend in and get rid of burnishing. Basically, I'm trying to make sure that I get all of the paper full of pigment so that I don't have any of the paper really showing, because I don't know if you all can see it on camera, but there's white spots still. And it really, burnishing, especially when you're using Cra-Z-Art pencils, really makes a difference in how the color shows up on the page. It really does. Alright, so that's that. Then we're gonna do, we got another stingray. So let's get that done. So we used slate gray on the tip of the tail. So that's what we're gonna do. And we kind of did the bottom area. We went over it a little bit, and then we're gonna splotch it. I didn't get that either. See, that's when you do leave elements to do, sometimes I miss things. So I need to go over that. Okay. Let's fill some areas up. Okay. So lightly go over that and then darken this up. Okay, and then I also want to use it on this shark here. And I'm just putting it on all the areas that has already been shaded for us. And then I want to use it on this guy too. Because so like I said, we're using a limited color palette. We started with a limited color palette, so we might as well just keep that theme going. And not try to switch it up so much. Okay. So then we used, we didn't use smoke. We used gray mist. So we'll go in over that with gray mist. I'm gonna go over all the areas. And we're lightly on this one too, because we also did use a third color. And the gray mist is what we're going to use on that flap there. And then we're going to go over here too and slightly into the smooth area a little bit. So when we get to the parts that don't have much shading, we just gonna use light pressure. And the same thing here. Only I'm going to make sure that I get those sliced parts. And then our last one was, I believe, platinum. That's what I used. So then we're just gonna go over this whole stingray with platinum. Okay. All the flap, the bubble, everything. Except for that coral, of course, because that is not part of the stingray. We got that covered already. That's my stingray. We're gonna go over the entire shark and the entire swordfish, because I believe that's a swordfish. So I already got my first book for my haul. And my haul video probably won't go up until June because I have to get some things. I'm shipping some things, so I don't think they will make it in time. Everything won't make it in time to be filmed on my birthday. So it will be in June, which is I'm not happy about, but you know, it is what it is. And at least I get some things, some coloring books and some pencils. And maybe I won't get my Prismas, which I probably will, but I may not. I may have to get a separate. I'm not happy with that shark at all, but oh well. He looks splotchy. But anyway, whatever. It is what it is now, right? So we're gonna go over this swordfish as well. And we're not going to touch his fin right now because I gotta add, I'm gonna add some color to that fin. He's gonna be a different looking swordfish. We're not gonna just keep him gray. Okay. So then we're gonna take our red umber and just add some lines to the fish. I'm just go over the whole bottom lightly with that. And then now we're gonna go in with our platinum over the entire fin. And I'm sorry for the sniffling, but I have, my allergies are still, you know, getting to me. But I just took a allergy pill and I'm feeling a little bit better, so yeah, there's that. And I'm gonna go with gray mist, and I'm gonna go and just add some lines, we'll flick it a little bit. And then after this, I'm going to work on my off-camera project, which is in the magical jungle. The wallpaper, I'm very happy with how that's coming out, even though it didn't come out, it didn't come out how I wanted it. I wanted it to be gold. I had seen Coloring Francis, finished pages, I think for April, and she did a purple and gold wallpaper that was so pretty, and she did it with paint, so that's another reason why it didn't come out. But I know how to make gold. Obviously you can see it here, but I did it differently. I went over the whole thing with yellow, but I think I went too heavy with my toasted toffee. And anyway, it didn't come out gold. It came out more like an aged yellow. And that's all right, because it was a happy mistake in that I still like how it comes out. I still like the effect of it. So I'm going to continue with that. Okay, so that is our fish, and we only have one left. And we're going to do our red umber. And go in here a little bit light, very lightly, into that fin. And then we're going to go over him with our red. And we're going to lightly go over that bubble. And we went light pressure on the top. We're going heavy pressure on these fins here. And we're going to go heavy pressure on the bottom. In the areas that are smooth, we're going to do light pressure just to give it a little different dimension or whatever. Okay, so then I'm going to go over one more time everything, light pressure, red umber over everything. That's going to get some of that paper out that's showing through right now. Heavy pressure right here. I missed that. So I'm going to go back over that with red. And now I'm just going to go heavy pressure over my dark areas. I know you probably couldn't see that. It's hard to do heavy pressure because you're down low without covering what you're doing up with your hand. Okay, and then I'm just gonna go one more time with my red. And I see the difference, so sometimes you just gotta keep working with it. And I'm going over the eyeball too because I really don't care for that to be white. I went over all the fish eyes anyway, so that's something that, was kept consistent. And that is it. We have finished our first merman, picture for Mermaid, and it is our Arie the Merman from Mythomorphia. He is completely finished, and our next one will be the mermaid on the opposite page. So that is our finished page, you all. Thank y'all for watching. I know it's wobbly. Let me hold it steady so you get a nice good view. Okay? So thank you all for watching. Appreciate you. Until next time. Bye.